Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the protective armor for one of the most critical parts of our infrastructure, epoxy coating for ductile iron pipes.
So here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll look at the big challenges these pipes are up against. Then, we'll introduce the epoxy shield that comes to the rescue. After that, we'll break down the key benefits, see where it's used in the real world, and finally, wrap up with how to make sure it performs for years to come.
All right, so first things first. Before we can really appreciate the solution, we've got to understand the problem that these epoxy coatings were designed to solve in the first place. For decades, ductile iron has been the industry standard, the absolute go-to material. It's known for being incredibly strong and durable. And for most jobs, the standard factory coatings are perfectly fine for a long, reliable service life.
But here's the million-dollar question for engineers and project managers. What do you do when the environment gets, well, hostile? Because in really aggressive conditions, that standard level of protection just isn't going to cut it.
And these are the real bad guys, the enemies of longevity. We're talking about corrosion from nasty soils, chemical attacks from industrial waste or raw sewage, and even physical abrasion from materials flowing right through the pipe. Over time, these things can eat away at the pipe's integrity, and that can lead to major failures.
So, now that we've set the stage with the challenge, let's bring in the hero of our story, a high-performance armor that's built to fight back.
So what is it exactly? Well, think of it as a custom-built, high-tech shield that's literally bonded right onto the iron. It's a two-part coating that cures fast and is high solids, which basically means it's incredibly dense. It's specifically formulated to create this tough barrier between the pipe and all those aggressive elements we just talked about.
Now this is where the magic really happens, in the ingredients. You have this special amine-cured epoxy that acts as the chemical backbone, giving it amazing resistance to all sorts of nasty stuff. Then you mix in ceramic quartz pigment, which acts like microscopic armor, making the whole thing incredibly hard and resistant to wear.
Okay, so we know what it's made of, but why is it so effective? Let's break down the core advantages that make this the go-to choice for the toughest jobs out there.
First up, and this is really its primary mission, is its absolutely superior ability to resist corrosion.
The epoxy basically creates this solid, nearly impermeable film. It's a barrier that stops corrosive elements dead in their tracks, preventing them from ever even touching the metal. This protection can extend the life of a pipeline for decades, far beyond what you'd get with standard options.
But it's not just about fighting off chemicals. This coating is also incredibly tough against good old-fashioned physical wear and tear.
And check this out. This chart just says it all. In a really tough standardized abrasion test, the ceramic epoxy showed way better resistance. It wore down significantly less than even a traditional glass lining. That really proves just how durable that ceramic reinforced surface is.
The benefits aren't just on the outside either. When you line the inside of a pipe with epoxy, it makes a huge difference to how things flow through it.
And this is a crucial point, because it leads to better performance and lower costs to run the system. That slick, non-stick surface means there's less friction, so you need less energy to pump liquids through the pipe. Over the decades-long life of a system, that adds up to some serious savings on energy and money.
And look, this isn't some new, unproven technology we're talking about. Ceramic-enhanced epoxy has a long and successful track record, with literally thousands of miles of pipe installed in some of the most challenging real-world applications you can possibly imagine.
Okay, so we've covered the why and the how. Now let's look at the where. Why are these benefits really put to the test out in the wild?
You'll find it everywhere conditions get rough. From protecting against all the corrosive stuff in sewage systems, to fighting off harsh chemicals in industrial plants, to making sure our water supply stays clean, and even fending off salt water in marine environments, like on bridges. In these demanding sectors, epoxy is the go-to solution.
Finally, let's talk about longevity, because installing a great product is only half the battle. Proper handling and maintenance are what makes sure it actually delivers on its promise for the long haul.
These steps are pretty straightforward, but they're absolutely key for getting the most out of the coating. Things like regular checks, using gentle cleaning methods like hydrojetting, which is basically just a high-pressure water wash, and of course, avoiding harsh abrasives will keep that protective barrier in perfect shape.
And this is a huge advantage, practically speaking. Let's be real, on a construction site, things happen. A pipe might get scuffed or scratched during handling. The ability to do quick and easy touch-ups right there in the field is a game changer. It ensures you have a seamless, perfect defense before that pipe even goes into the ground.
And that really brings us to our big takeaway.
For ductile iron pipe in these really tough environments, an epoxy coating isn't just a nice feature to have. It is absolutely essential for building resilient, long-lasting infrastructure. Thanks for watching.